Here this Saturday. It is a very special Saturday all over the world, but for all of our mothers, it's a very special Saturday as it leads up to Mother's Day. And so we want to, of course, take a few moments out later on to recognize our mothers and to say a special good morning to them. But before we get there, there are also some other activities happening that I wanted to share with you to ensure that we are up to speed with what is happening. Of course, we know that our Exposition Nevis activities are happening. Over the past few weeks, we've been sharing some updates. There are some activities that are directly related to our students, and we had a few competitions which were advertised over the past few weeks. Of course, we know that many things changed, and the school contests, the deadline was extended. I'm not sure if all of our students are aware, but you still have some time. You still have some time to give your best to the essay competition, the photo and video contest, and the poster contest. So I'll spend a few moments going through those with you so that you can explore them and perhaps use the few extra days that you've gotten. The original deadline was April 29th, and that has since been updated. And so the new deadline for the competitions, for all of the competitions through the Ministry of Tourism for our students, the new deadline is Friday 13th May 2022. So we have a few more days, like I said. I think Friday May 13th is just around the corner. But I know that our students can do it. They can give their best, and they can be successful. So today is May 7th, so Friday 13th May is this coming Friday. So you have the whole of this week to put together your final submissions for the various contests. We have the essay competition, the primary school essay competition, and that competition is under the topic Rethinking Tourism. What initiatives can tourism-related businesses and government implement to further promote Nevis as a green tourist destination? And so we want to rethink tourism, rethink what it looks like, to ensure that we can keep abreast. But of course, we know and many of the ministries throughout and in alignment with our sustainable development goals, we're looking at ecotourism, we're looking at green tourism, we're looking at ensuring that we're preserving our environment, we're looking at banning single-use plastics and foam containers, and doing as much as we can to protect our environment, to protect our land, to protect our oceans. And so tourism is an integral part of who we are as a people, and one of our primary industries, our primary revenue generators, is also focused on green tourism. So students, you're expected to think. Now that we've come out of the pandemic and we're trying to regroup and not come out, but we're transitioning and learning how to live with the virus, we want to rethink tourism as well. So the topic, once again, and this is for primary school students, Rethinking Tourism. What initiatives can tourism-related businesses and government implement to further promote Nevis as a green tourist destination? Your rules, the word limit is 500 words. Number of entries per school, 4. So make sure that you get your entries into your principals by next Wednesday or so that the entries can be submitted to the Ministry of Tourism by Friday. The criteria, they're looking at originality, creativity, structure and layout, content, and grammar. The essays must be typewritten. The deadline for submission, Friday 29th April 2022, the Ministry of Tourism, Social Security Building, Pennis Estate. And the announcement of winners is May 31st, 2022. Remember, the deadline was updated, so the deadline is now Friday 13th May 2022, and attractive prizes are available for the first, second, and third place winners. All participants will be acknowledged, and there is a form that goes along with it. You can check with your school's office, your principal, to get the information in relation to the application form so that you can put that as the cover for your essay submission. We also have the poster contest for students at the Cicely Brown Integrated School. And the deadline for the poster contest, listeners, is Friday, 13th May. So all students enrolled at CBIS, you are eligible to participate in the environmental art poster competition. Students are asked to create a poster depicting ways in which we can use each of the 3 environmental R's: reuse, reduce, and recycle, to preserve and conserve our resources and keep our island clean. Guidelines for the competition: participants must be students of the Cicely Brown Integrated School. The artwork must be original. All artwork should be submitted using standard manila-sized paper. The layout should be clean and communicate clearly uses of each of the 3 R's: reuse, reduce, recycle, while keeping in line with the theme. There will be a first, second, and third place. Winners selected, and all entries must be submitted by 3 p.m. on Friday, 13th May 2022. Each submitted entry is subject to use by the Ministry of Tourism, and winners will be announced in May. All right, and then finally we have the photo and video contest for secondary school students. So you realize we've covered pretty much the entire compulsory mandatory school system. We're going from primary straight through to secondary. And so we have the My Iconic Photograph and Promotional Video of Nevis contest. And this one is for secondary school students. The photographs and videos should capture images of Nevis that can be used for marketing Nevis as a prime tourist destination. Students can either do either the photograph or video contest, and each contest should have a name. Each submission should have a name. The entries are to be submitted to the point teacher at the school, who will then forward to the Ministry of Tourism, and each school is allowed to submit 10 entries for the video and 10 entries for the photo contest to a link that will be provided, and so you just submit it to your school's teacher. Each student can submit up to 2 photographs for judging, and the destination promotional video of Nevis that is no more than 60 seconds. Each student's photograph or video should be his or her own original creative work featuring unique aspects of Nevis as a tourist destination. A short description and a completed participation form must accompany the entry. All right, and just some reminders: do not add text or color manipulations to photos submitted for judging. The display and future use rights: by submitting an entry to the contest, the submitter grants permission to the Ministry of Tourism to use and the rights associated to the use of entries without compensation. Submission deadline: all entries of photos and videos should be submitted by April 29, 2022 at 3 p.m. via the online portal that will be provided to the schools. So make sure that you get that done. The judging will be done by a panel of experts, and they will select first, second, and third place for both the video and photo contest. And additionally, photos and videos will be posted on the Ministry of Tourism's Facebook page, and the prize will be given to the most liked photo and video as of the stipulated date, May 13th, 2022, and the winners will be announced at the end of May. And so we want to thank students in advance for participating in those competitions. We'll talk a bit more about Exposition Nevis when we return, because there are so many activities and students can participate in them, and we always encourage holistic development. Education is not limited to sitting down in the classroom and doing the academic component, which is important, but also the holistic approach. So as much as our students can be exposed to, we would welcome and applaud. And so we're going to talk a bit more about that after we've taken this very short break.
Sugar City St. Kitts, keep it sweet. Keep listening to Vaughn.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know hour passes quickly. You don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio. It's Youth on the Go. Youth on the Go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Oh. Youth on the Go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Whoa. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. There's storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the Go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Oh. Youth on the Go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Von Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. I am Zahnela Claxton, and we are here with you on Saturdays to share information, updates, activities for our students, for our young people, that will help to further mold them, grow them, expose them to opportunities that can be beneficial to their growth and development, and this Saturday is no different. And so just before the break, I announced the extension of the deadline for the Ministry of Tourism's Exposition Nevis activities. We are aware that there were several activities shared which potentially involves students, and so we wanted to make sure that all of our students had the opportunity to further explore them, and those who did not work on the essays and the poster and the photo and video submissions, that you have a few more days to do so until Friday 13th May, and so please get involved in that. In addition to that, there is a full roster, there's a full calendar of events for Exposition Nevis, and we had a few activities this week, but today there is the Bath Community Fair at Fort Charles, and of course we know Fort Charles is one of our historical sites, has much history, and the focus for today would be on the Bath Community Festival, and it is a collaborative effort between the Ministry of Tourism and the Bath Village community. There will be local cultural performances, there will be food and drinks available, there will be entertainment for children, dominoes, the big game of domino will be played. They will also have the Queen's Baton photo op, and I know that many of you know the Queen's Baton. It circulates from time to time throughout the region, throughout the Commonwealth, and so it will be on Nevis today, and so we have that opportunity for the photo op holding the Queen's Baton over at the festival, which will take place today. It starts at noon, so in case you didn't have a plan to be there, you now know that it starts at noon, so you have enough time to wrap everything up and get there and be part of the entertainment, but also the educational experience at the historic Fort Charles. And for those who've never been there, make it your business to ensure that you get to go there, so you get to see what's happening there as well. As I continue, and parents, as I said, meaningful activities for students really contribute to their growth. There is a workshop on Thursday 12th May, an entrepreneurship workshop at Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park from 9 a.m. Then on Saturday there is a Know Your Country culinary tour of small restaurants, and it starts at Passions Bar. On Wednesday 18th May, Bank of Nevis Tourism Youth Congress, and that's for secondary school students. And then on the 21st of May we have Exposition Nevis Festival, and that will take place at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park from 12 noon, and we'll have a food court, barbecue zone, cultural performances, family games, competitive activities, children's games, art and craft exhibitions, and more. And then on the Tuesday, 31st of May, we have a prize giving for essay, video, and photography competitions for students. And then on the 25th of June, we have the Exposition Nevis Tourism Awards and a cocktail, and that will also take place at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. So that is the calendar of events for Exposition Nevis, and as we know, it usually takes place in May, and so it runs for the month of May. Commendations to the team at the Ministry of Tourism. They have been working assiduously, and of course they are one of our very valued partners with the Ministry of Education, and we are always grateful, as tourism is a part of who we are, fabric of our community. We're always grateful for these opportunities for our students to get exposed and to have an appreciation for what we have to offer as an island. As I speak to the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park, I want to also take the opportunity to encourage everyone to stop by and see the exhibition, which is currently on display at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. The exhibition was a collaborative effort between the park and the Nevis Public Library, and so it is an extremely engaging exhibition. I had the opportunity to see it yesterday. Beautifully speaks to our history, our journey, and I think that we can take our children, parents, take your children sometime during the course of the display period. We have some nice little cutouts and mannequins, some history. We have a latrine inside Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. If that's not an attraction, I don't know what is. So go on, show them, have conversations with them about the outdoor latrine that is now indoors, and make it a fun experience. The ambience is beautiful as you walk in. It is attractive, it's educational, and for me, things like this cause me to beam with pride, because that's a part of who we are. And so definitely parents, get your children involved, have them, take them to the park and have allow them to see and talk them through and walk them through the display. As I want to say once again, commendations to the Nevis Public Library team. It is an exceptional display, and kudos to you, Mrs. Morton, and your entire team for a job well done on this specific display that we have available at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. All right, so in terms of opportunities as well, it would be remiss of me if I didn't stop to share as well the NIA and MUA scholarship offer for 2022. We know this is a big scholarship because it covers a great portion, almost all, of the costs for our students. And so the Nevis Island Administration, in collaboration with the MUA, Medical University of the Americas, encourages individuals who are interested in health sciences to apply for the NIA and MUA scholarship opportunity. 2 scholarships will be awarded for successful candidates to pursue undergraduate studies at an accredited higher education institution. The scholarships support awardees for up to 4 years while attending Medical University of the Americas, the University of the West Indies, or any 4-year United States-based institution. Individuals who are already attending university will not be considered for this scholarship. Persons eligible to apply must be at least 18 years old. They must be a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis and possess at least 5 CXC-CSEC passes, including math, English, and 1 social science. And the individuals must also be active in community service. The priority areas for 2022 include environmental health, pharmacy, medical technology, physical therapy, occupational speech therapy, nursing, health educator, counseling, biomedical engineering, health information management, occupational health and safety, radiography, supply chain management, health, and social work. For applications to be considered, candidates must present the following documents by June 24th, 2022. Completed application form, birth or naturalization certificate, police record, passport-sized picture, certified copies of CXC, CSEC, and CAPE passes, copy of acceptance letter from a tertiary institution, official costing of the program including tuition, room, and board, letter of reference from a high school teacher, letter of reference from a community service organization stating your active involvement, and 800 to 1,000 word essay stating your future goals and why you are deserving of this scholarship. And for additional guidance on application procedures or for any other information, and including the application form, kindly contact the following individuals: Mrs. Shalissa Martin Clark, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health and Gender Affairs, Administration Building, Charlestown. Email shalissa.martinclark@niagov.com, or telephone number 469-5521, extension 6490, 6491, or 6492. And Mrs. Shanola Murray-Gale, Training Officer, Ministry of Human Resources, Social Security Building, Pinnis Estate. Email shanola.murraygill@niagov.com, or telephone 469-5521, extension 5163, 5164, or 5166. And so, as I said, persons who were able to successfully receive the MUA, the NIA MUA scholarship, it really has been a tremendous help, and so we encourage all persons who are interested in any of these areas to apply. And so we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
When VON vibrates, the whole Caribbean must shake.
860 AM, the powerhouse.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know, we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's Youth on the Go. Youth on the Go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, Youth on the Go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go, let's go, let's go. I will learn new things, I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather round, an adventure is always waiting. With storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the Go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, Youth on the Go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning, good morning, good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Vaughn Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Vaughn Radio. I am Zahnela Claxton from the Department of Education, and we're here with you. We've been sharing a whole lot of information this morning, updates, activities, and so we wanted to make sure that we keep abreast and that we continue to share with you as much as possible in relation to what is happening for in relation to education. The final area that we're going to look at before we take a few moments out to say a shout out, give a shout out to our moms, is the recent announcement by the Caribbean Examination Council that the examinations were postponed for 3 weeks. We know that the examinations were initially due to commence on May 2nd, and through a joint meeting that was held on April 27th, the decision was taken to postpone the examination cycle by 3 weeks. And so just some updates, of course. The revised timetables are now available. They were posted on the CXC website, and candidates can access them on their student portals. All components of the exams previously started will be completed as originally timetabled. The broad topics for Paper 2 are scheduled to be released on or before May 13th, 2022. The deadline for the submission of SBAs has been extended for 2 weeks, and specific dates must be obtained by your school's principal or local registrar, and candidates have the option to defer some or all of their exams to either January or June 2023. CXC will facilitate further deferrals for candidates who requested this option in 2021. So as I said, students, the timetables are available. They are accessible through your student portals, and so you know how to access those. You have accessed them previously to be able to see your timetables and get updates, and of course you'll have to access the portals to get your results. And so we encourage you to stay abreast, to remain connected, to keep studying. 3 additional weeks doesn't mean 3 additional weeks of wasting time or slowing down, but the hope is that we would have the opportunity to prepare a bit better, do a bit more to ensure that we are ready for the examinations. Okay, so for CSEC, they will start on May 23rd and they will go until June 24th. For CCSLC, they start on June 27th and they go until June 30th. And for CAPE, they start on May 23rd and they go until July 1st. So we have those opportunities for our young people to be able to prepare. As I said, you've had a few additional days, 3 weeks, and that's a fair amount of time to be able to prepare, and we encourage you to do so, to give your best, and of course to not slack off, and as I said, feel like you have time now, but make sure that you are really pushing in and digging deep so that you can do well. Let me repeat the dates for you. For CSEC, May 23rd to June 24th, 2022. CCSLC, June 27th to June 30th, 2022. CAPE, May 23rd to July 1st, 2022. So we wish our students the very best in this endeavor. We know that you can do this. You've prepared for a long time. You've been preparing for your examinations, and so we want to encourage you to remember all that you've done, and remember all that your teachers have taught you, and the support that you have from your parents and guardians and your entire supporting cast, and you continue to do the very best that you can. And we look forward to getting excellent results from all of you in the next release of results. So students, you know what to do. Parents, please provide the support, and we will have great outcomes. We also want to, as I said earlier, want to take a few moments to say a special good morning shout out to all mothers, and on behalf of the Ministry and Department of Education, I want to also say Happy Mother's Day to all persons who are employed by our ministry, whether it be at the administrative level, at the office level, or at the school level. We want to say Happy Mother's Day to all of you. We really appreciate you, and if I may dare say, and this is in no way decreasing or devaluing the importance of biological mothers, but there are several. I think just about every female individual within our system has to play the role of a mother. And so I want to also say Happy Mother's Day to all of you for the contribution that you're making, not only in the lives of your own children, but in the lives of the children with whom you interact every single day. We acknowledge it. We often hear that teachers and school personnel have so many different roles and wear so many hats, and one of those hats is often that of a mother. And so Happy Mother's Day to all of you. We appreciate you. We appreciate all of the work that you've done, and we hope that your students were able to really celebrate you yesterday. And if they didn't, parents, if your children have mothers or persons at the school who have treated them with highest respect and have been mothering them, in essence, we also encourage you to give them something, to give them some ideas as to how they can celebrate their teachers or the staff members who are contributing to their development. It's important for us to teach children how to appreciate, how to show appreciation to persons who are positively impacting them, and so we want to encourage you to do that. In relation to our own children who are listening, some of you might be scampering around. You might not have thought about it yet, or you're wondering what you should do. So I'm going to go through a few ideas of how we can celebrate our mothers. How can we celebrate our mothers when we don't have $1 million? We're coming out of a pandemic, and we know economically it took a toll on us. Some persons weren't employed fully for a long time, and we've seen the process of that turning around. But how can we celebrate our mothers now? How can we celebrate them without having a lot of cash, or being able to buy some of the glorious things? I've seen some really impressive gift packages, and sometimes that becomes daunting, because while you want to purchase some of those things, sometimes you just can't afford it. As children, I think for mothers, it's never as important. The cost of the item isn't as important as the thought and the idea. So there are small things that you can do, children, that can help your mothers to know that you appreciate them, but that can also create that bond, or tighten or strengthen that bond that you have with your mother. So an easy start, and this one can be done by any student at any level. So an easy start is to create a card, and this might have been done at your school. I know sometimes in various classrooms, teachers might have you make your Mother's Day cards, and so that's a good start. A Mother's Day card, you can go as simple as a piece of letter-sized paper and folding it in two. If you have cardstock or card paper, then you can do that, and you can decorate it with anything. Some persons say, well, I'm not that good of an artist. There's nothing wrong with getting some flowers from outside and gluing them on the cover to create, because you might not be able to draw, but you can use some of the resources, some flowers and leaves from outside. It would be a nice fresh collage look, authentic look, and perhaps can last a very long time even after the flowers have dried out. So allowing for that crafting for persons who can't draw. We know sometimes we have limitations, but we also look for opportunities. So use resources, straws and pipe cleaners and resources that you have around. Paper, because if you have colored paper, you can cut the papers up into pieces and create a design. So there's so much that you can do. But within the card, try your best to put a nice note or message in there for your mom, for your grandma, for your aunt, for whomever the person is that you're making the card, so that they know that you appreciate them. So that is a good start. Children, it's a very easy start, parents. And I also encourage parents of children who have godparents to make sure that you take some time out and also recognize your godmothers as well, who are also contributing to molding our children. So that's a start, an inexpensive start. then there are some children who like to write, and so we have some who write poems. We've done this in the school setting, and it can be done at home. You write a poem, you write it out nicely on a paper, or you type it out if you have a computer. It depends. There's no limit. So if you have the resources, you can explore. If you don't, there's nothing wrong with writing it out nicely. I've seen some children do, some nice little sketches of their mom, or they take a picture of their mom, or a picture that they have with their mother, and they put it at the bottom of the poem, and they present that on Mother's Day. So far we've had some inexpensive ideas that will help you to celebrate your mother. If you write a poem and you put it on a poster, or you share it through some artistic means, there's nothing wrong with reciting it. So on Mother's Day, you recite your poem, and I'm going to give you a little extra up. So on Mother's Day, you get up early and you make breakfast, and breakfast can vary from household to household. Remember, as I said, everybody's not at the same economic place. There are some who may say, let's go out for breakfast, and there's some who may have to do, a simple sandwich with some fruit, whatever you have available at home. For children who are younger, or preschoolers, it might be a jam and peanut butter sandwich, Mom, but because of course that takes fewer resources, and children can spread jam and peanut butter easily, and get some help from another older person in the household. And then you say your poem. So you have your poem, you recite it, and you present breakfast. Better yet, breakfast in bed. And so there are some things, as I said, you look at your circumstance, you look at your situation, you look at the resources that you have. But so far I've given you 3 ideas that you can tweak and make Mother's Day a memorable one for your moms. I'll bring some more ideas, especially for progressing through some of the things that we can do, especially our older students. And we'll go through some of those ideas, because Mother's Day is here, and we want to make sure that we celebrate all mothers over the course of this weekend. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
From Queen City, Nevis, this is the powerhouse of the Eastern Caribbean, Vaughn Radio.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. I know we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's youth on the go. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. The storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go.
Let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Vaughn Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Vaughn Radio. I am Zahnela Claxton from the we also talked about poems and songs and anything that you can write, those students who are artistically inclined, and those who are not. You don't have to be an artist to be able to write a poem or compose a small song or jingle. You can use an existing song and just rewrite it a bit to celebrate your mom. And then, of course, we added in a bit of breakfast, an idea of combining some of our ideas to celebrate your mother, as I said, in a way that will make her happy, and the mothers in your life, in a way that will make them happy, but also in a way that, of course, will be remembered for years to come and are low cost to no cost, because as we speak, we're speaking to children, and children are not employed, and so to purchase big and large and exuberant gifts means that somebody else would have to do that. And so we want children to understand that while those are commendable, that parents, their mothers appreciate, and the women in their lives appreciate the smaller things. So as we continue, we look at crafting, and I know across all of our schools we had various crafting activities happening yesterday and over the course of the week. Of course, I had the pleasure and privilege to stop by Charlestown Preschool. They did some art pieces, small art canvases in some of their classes. They also had some handmade flowers which were made, and Teacher Tracy, I must say good morning to you. Great job with that. Charlestown Preschool and Miss Burke, who led the painting, the canvas painting, and all of the teachers at all of our schools who did various things. I'm able to single out those that I witnessed firsthand, but they were able to create those small craft pieces. And I know even growing up, we used seashells, we used jumbie beads, even though I haven't seen jumbie beads in a long time. I'm hoping they're still out there. But jumbie beads and some of those little crafting beads that we have around the island, those are things that children don't have to spend a lot of time, a lot of resources on. In fact, we've even used eggshells. Growing up, we used to crush the eggshells after we've used the eggs throughout the week, put them out to dry, make sure that all of the leftover pieces dry out, and then we crushed them and we sprinkled them onto, sometimes you stuck a picture of your mother onto the board, and then you sprinkled on the eggshells, and then you put some seashells around the border, and those are things that we were proud of, definitely, but were greatly appreciated. So crafting, very big for Mother's Day, and of course using resources that you have. Another idea, and I know that we're in a highly technological age, so it's important for us to zero in on some of the technological things that are possible as well. And so many of our students have devices. They have tablets, they have laptops, many of them have cell phones. Those can be used as well to compile. I know I've seen several persons for birthdays and other activities, you post video collages, and so students, children, your parents will be impressed or your mothers will be impressed if you can put together little video collages. Some of you have your various apps on your phones or on your devices, and you're able to put some music to it or even your own voice to it, and send that to your mother, or present it or share it, play it for her on Mother's Day. So far I haven't added to your budget. I'm not breaking the bank, but you're able to celebrate your mother or the mothers in your life in such important ways and memorable ways. Outside of the video collages, I know that some of you also do TikTok videos. That's a big thing right now, the TikTok videos. And so if you can put together a short TikTok video for your mother, I know that, or TikTok type videos, because if you don't have TikTok accounts, that doesn't mean you can't do a short interactive video for your mother, which isn't necessarily a photo collage, but it mirrors the interactive and fun and very short 30-second approach that we see with most of the TikTok videos, 30 seconds to a minute, and you're able to highlight your mother in some way. Can we combine all of what I've just said and put together a package for your mother? So the package can include your poem or song composition. It can include your TikTok video, it can include your breakfast. You put all of that together and you make a package. So far everything that we've stated can be combined, or they can be used independently. And so as I said, it's important that we think about those things. And then you can do get a bouquet of flowers. Some of us have gardens and we have flowers blooming right now. That's always something that is a good idea as well, getting some flowers and putting together a bouquet. Cooking for our older children or students listening. Cooking is always something that mothers love. On Sundays, mothers always have to cook, and so if you can put together as a household a meal and allow mother to just rest for that one day, mothers love that. That helps them to be able to relax, and that doesn't come very often because, as we know, mothers tend to keep going, to keep the household together, to ensure everyone is fed, to make sure everyone is taken care of. And so that self-care time, or at least that rest and respite time that mothers can get, if we choose to cook on that day, would be appreciated as well. Cooking using what is already in the house, and of course, as I said, I'm trying to keep it at low cost to no cost. But there are some persons who will be open, willing, and have already made their reservations for various restaurants or hotels for lunch and dinner tomorrow, and of course that is appreciated and applauded. But I'm also speaking to those who may not be able to do that this year and this time around, or at any point. You can still celebrate your mother by allowing her to give her this day off from the kitchen. Okay? And then it's always good for us to just create some opportunities for spending time together. Time is something that you could never trade. And so just doing general activities, I've seen some recommendations, for example, for us to have, time of gardening together, or doing something outside, going down to the beach and playing some beach games, or taking a swim together. Just selecting something that your mother loves to do, and joining her in doing it for this day. That's pretty simple, isn't it? But as I said, very memorable. And so if your mother loves to garden and goes into her garden every day, every morning, every evening, join her. Help her to garden, help her to get those weeds plucked out, and have a conversation, right? And then, of course, it's something that many of us might not deem as important, but it really is. Have a conversation with your mother for Mother's Day. A real conversation, sit down and chat and laugh and have a conversation with your mother. Conversations, especially for those teenagers who tend to keep their faces stuck in the cell phones all day and you just don't say anything to anybody because you're at that age. The conversation will be meaningful and, once again, memorable for your mother. So a conversation, inexpensive, doesn't take anything away from you, and you'll be able to have your mother feeling of so much, so very appreciated on this Mother's Day. And all of the ideas that I've given to you so far, please note that the expectation is that you show these ways of appreciation to your parents and your support systems, children, all year long. Okay? So take some time out throughout your weeks and map out, how can I just do random acts of kindness? But because it's Mother's Day, because tomorrow is Mother's Day, we wanted to give you some ideas as to how you can focus in on them. But we expect for you to be able to do them on any given day. So time, I think, is the biggest one. The last recommendation that I will give before closing out my idea time with you and idea sharing time with you is, I think, the most important one, but I saved it for last for a reason. For Mother's Day, my recommendation is, and this is my biggest recommendation, is for you to go to church with your mother. Adult listeners who still have their mothers, sometimes your mothers yearn for you to come to church with them. That you haven't frequented the church for a while. Make sure tomorrow you set yourself up, you get ready, and you go to church with your mother. That, I think, over the years and listening to the older persons, that often makes their day. Go to church with your mother. So that is hopefully the goal, that tomorrow all of us can get ready and we can go out and go off to church with our mothers, and that would make their Mother's Day special. Take them with you. Go to their church, visit their church, and spend the day with them. So those are just some very simple recommendations that I think will go a long way. And we want to take this opportunity once again as we close out to wish all mothers a happy Mother's Day. I know tomorrow, as per usual, Von Radio will be doing Mother's Day tributes. And so I encourage all of you to call in and give your Mother's Day shout outs and say a special Mother's Day to whomever, all of the persons who have contributed and who are contributing to your development. We encourage you. That also helps a lot. We encourage you to do that. And I want to wish all of you, on behalf of the Ministry and Department of Education, I wish all of you a very special and happy Mother's Day, all mothers who are listening right now. Happy Mother's Day, and we pray God's blessings over all of you and that you would have a wonderful day. We wish all of you, we wish all of our listeners a successful and productive week until we join you next Saturday for another edition of Youth on the Go. Have a wonderful week.
With all the power from the tower, this is the powerhouse of the Eastern Caribbean, VON.